I think we're in the valley. The uncanny valley. Do you remember that weird animation style in the early 2000s where everything looked real but nothing looked right?
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, the first and only film from Square Pictures. I wonder why.
You're wrong!
Yeah, this film flopped harder than a sumo wrestler pancaking from outer space, but not without getting some well-deserved attention on the technical side. At the time, this was, at least according to the internet, the first CG animated film with photorealistic characters. And just like every overcaffeinated Twitch streamer reacting to a new game trailer, it was all about them graphics.
Holy shit, them graphics!
Sure, it may look dated now, but this was mind-blowing in 2001. And everybody, even Conan, was flipping out over those sexy, sexy polygons.
It's really amazing. The characters' faces, the way they move, it's all very impressive what computers can do these days.
And it honestly got to the point where things were starting to get ridiculous. Actors did as actors do and overreacted over the supposed realism of the characters, with some like Tom Hanks fearing a dystopian machine takeover of the performing arts. But that's not where the interesting reactions to this film in the West ends. Maxim Magazine, a magazine based in New York, not Japan, remember that now, put the film's protagonist Aki Ross in the Maxim Hot 100 of 2001. Bro, how? You weeb started simping for this? They ranked her over 13 other actual flesh and blood women. Dude, I can't with this.
It's not what it looks like. You a grown-ass man beating your dick to pixels.
Now, don't get me wrong. The movie does look great in terms of lighting and shading for the time. I get some GameCube-era Resident Evil remake vibes from some stills here. But the movie is held way back by the fact that this film is flooded with janky mocap. Some of these motions look like the sort of odd mannerisms you'd see in a 6th generation video game cutscene. This right here gives me strong Sonic Adventure 2 vibes in particular, while other movements are more reminiscent of stuff I'd see in cheaper direct-to-video films. This head jerk right here is basically every conversation in G.I. Joe Spy Troops the movie, the greatest film ever made, by the way. And don't even get me started on the remake they did of Thriller in the DVD release.
That is gross!
It's yet another great example of how good artistic design and fitting stylization will always trump realism in the long run, regardless of medium. I can still watch those early Pixar and DreamWorks films without a hitch because they took a lot of creative liberties and knew what subjects best fit their current technological capabilities. But this is some nightmare fuel, dude. I'm just glad the chief mocapper Remington Scott was able to work on better projects later on, as he helped with the excellent motion capture for Gollum in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And notice how this whole time I haven't even touched upon the story and characters, because they are flat out awful. Basically, actually let me pull it up. This stuff is way too dense to go straight off the dome. Okay. So all of these see-through entities called phantoms have been going around taking people off the census by draining their wibbly-wobbly life forces that are connected to the big wibbly-wobbly spirit thingy Gaia within the earth, forcing the survivors to live in isolated barrier cities. So, the government is left with two options. Either A, allow our lead, Aki, praise be, and her team to find the 8 spirits and bring peace to the wibbly-wobbly earth spirit, or B, let this totally not evil guy fire his massive gun.
I'll blast you all to hell. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice.
It sounds basic, but the way the story is told is what makes it so hard to digest. This movie seems hell-bent on conveying information through obtuse exposition guaranteed to put you to sleep. And you know what? There are actually some nuggets of potential here that could have benefited from a different approach. There's this one scene where Aki, praise be again, starts to talk about her experiences tracking down and obtaining the spirits in great detail. Throughout this monologue, she talks about being infected by a phantom and having the spirits keeping the infection at bay, tracking down the spirit of a sparrow from outer space, and being deeply moved by an interaction with a dying girl in a hospital who fully accepts her fate. It's a pretty boring scene given how it's presented, but if things ended up playing out in real time and we as an audience got to experience this alongside Aki, then it could have added some much needed heart, character, and stakes into the film without it feeling contrived. As a result of this dense approach to storytelling, we're left with nothing to keep us invested in the plot. and our bland band of heroes only continues this trend. The characters have absolutely no personality whatsoever. Aki, praise be, is the sort of boring white bread protagonist that is never ever wrong. General Hein is a one-note militant psycho, and Steve Buscemi is, well, Steve Buscemi. And thank God for that. He's a national treasure. But unfortunately, even he can't save this ensemble. The movie tries to establish some chemistry and history between the squad mates, but does it in my absolute least favorite way possible. You ever watch one of those movies where two characters start reminiscing on old times out of nowhere? Some impromptu spiel along the lines of, hey, remember when we did the thing and you said this? You mean I did the thing and you were busy not doing the thing.
And it's important we say these things out loud to each other, lest we forget.
You know, the old Anakin and Obi-Wan elevator routine.
I haven't felt you this tense since we fell into that nest of gundogs.
You fell into that nightmare, Master, and I rescued you, remember?
Oh, yes.
Well, there's plenty of that here.
And how about the fact that I was sent there on a job and you wouldn't even see me?
I was probably helping Dr. Sid collect spirit waves.
Well, now I know.
So I'm sorry.
Well, me too, so we're both sorry.
This is not how you convince an audience that two characters go way back. We need to see it. Show them supporting and messing around with one another in the present. Give us some flashbacks of key moments from their past. Have the dialogue be more naturalistic instead of banging us over the head with that friendship stick. Think of humorous relationships like Blark and Fletch from Blark and Son, or more dramatic connections like David and Woody in Nebraska. That's how it's done. Add to this the post-FF7 aesthetic clash between the fantastic and the sleek, a thick wash of muted colors, and some incredibly dated dream sequences that feel less like impactful visions and more like early YouTube AMVs that forgot to include an Evanescence track. Put it all together and you've got yourself a real slog of a film. Look, I have nothing against Final Fantasy as a property. Final Fantasy VI is one of my absolute favorite JRPGs of all time. The tactics games kick all sorts of ass, and many of Nobuo Uematsu's soundtracks for these games are among the best in video game history. But this is just flat out awful. From what I can tell, the only other theatrical Final Fantasy film I'll be watching for this series is the Kingsglaive Final Fantasy 15 film from 2016, since Advent Children was direct to video. And all I can say is I hope it's better than this.